Look at him.
Have you seen our handsome friend Patrick?
They were all very nice.
I don't know if you've experienced such a handsome friend as our Patrick. You should come down to Barnum and Bailey Circus for our good friend Anton Patrick and enjoy all of the elephant abuse. It is where we do things on RedBeard Live. Have you guys thought how weird that is? That like Hugh Jackman is making a movie. It's called like
Barnum and Bailey. Yeah.
About Barnum and Bailey. Like it's cool. It's great. But like,
what?
Yeah, he's
they went their business. Like,
no, they did just now.
Yeah.
And that's when they're releasing the movie. I'm like,
oh, that's kind of like crappy.
it's kind of like shitty timing, right? Like fucking Hugh Jackman is playing like
I'm
P.T.
sure that
Barnum.
was their last big financial hurrah, is selling the movie rights.
Yeah, they're just like, yo, like let's like brush these giant elephants under the cover and sell a movie with you guys like the Wolverine? He can sing.
Yeah.
You guys like the Wolverine as
I saw Les Mis.
P.T.
Come on, baby.
P.T. Barnum? Oh, how about we forget about the elephant abuse and we focus on
Hey, I have a
being
beautiful elephant painting, by the way.
Elephants are
Yeah.
delicious
I have one.
animals.
you have a beautiful elephant painting.
Yes, it painted the elephant painted with its trunk for me, and I won it like 3 years
For-
ago.
like, did,
Yeah, you
did
did.
it did it look at you in the eyes?
Yes, we made sweet love afterwards.
with
actually,
eyes?
Yes, with our
With your eyes, you're like, paint this for me.
I've
elephant.
never won anything in my life except a fucking elephant painting from Barnum and Bailey.
Well, you know what, man?
Cherish it forever.
Like Barnum and Bailey Circus now, just like you're basically part of the Hugh Jackman Wolverine family
Well,
now.
like, I feel bad because I'm like I have like slave labor.
Yeah, you're like you don't even really want the elephant to like have done that because
Yeah,
you
it's
kind of
like-
feel a little bit bad.
I mean, he had talent. Let's put it
Yeah,
that
like, and
way.
like
He had talent, but now he's like elephant jerky.
He's a nice handbagger.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Like it's like are you guys fans of Louis Vuitton?
I'm
You
okay
should-
with an elephant umbrella stand. I'd pay money for that. I don't have ethics.
Oh man. Well, welcome everyone to the 25th episode. We're a quarter of 100.
25th anniversary.
25th anniversary. It's our 25th anniversary, and we're joined by our good friend, handsome fucking Patrick. Golf clap.
He
Golf
gave
clap.
me that name. I didn't give it to
Oh
myself.
no, we did. It's fine. You guys let us know if it's a little loud. Of course, we always are working with the ones and twos. We're gonna thumbs up from the corner of the room, so that's awesome. And yeah, it's been a long time coming, man. Like Patrick, you haven't been on the show.
Isn't that a
You're a
song?
good friend of ours. What?
long time coming.
I mean, when you move like that, it sure is.
It is now.
What's funny is, okay, so last week we've always had a theme on the show because we're like one of the first ideas that we had when we were brainstorming the idea for the show. We're like, oh, we're all gonna be dads on the show.
Yeah.
And then like it.
Whoa, bro. I don't know if I'm a dad or not.
No. No.
Might be. You never know.
You're a guest. You're a guest. So
Special guest.
You don't have to fall into that category. But like when we were coming up with ideas, it just kind of kept coming up weird. It was like 3 dads and like we're here for your kids. It's like, but instead,
near you.
But what's funny is that we always end up wearing plaid, and then Patrick comes on the show and just ruins up the mix.
I mean, he's got a jacket. That's
But it's a
I tend
sweet
to
jacket.
fuck things up. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I really
no, it's okay because the last couple of weeks, like every time I come over, I'm like, oh, I wore a shirt. You guys didn't
Yeah,
send me
I
the
know,
memo.
right? Damn it.
We need to communicate.
I almost
So-
messaged you today. I was like, hey,
Coordinate
I'm wearing
better.
plaid. Are you
Yeah.
wearing plaid? Like,
Well, you said you got
Are
to
you
keep
wearing,
it
are
in
you
the
wearing
trunk.
plaid? Are you wearing plaid? You wearing plaid? You wearing plaid? You wearing plaid?
Get-
But handsome Patrick is on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone, golf clap.
round of applause.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all having me. It's
Yeah.
been a lot of fun so far.
So one of the biggest things that we want to start with.
Far.
Yeah, no, this could take a shit
It
nosedive
could
real
take,
quick.
take a turn real fast.
I mean, like, it could be really bad, but it's going to be really fun. It's going to be really great, and we appreciate all of you guys coming to join us. I know, Marty, you've been tuned in for a while. I missed you at the Let's Play Gaming Expo, man. I love you, buddy. Hopefully you can come out
Tell me about
next
Marty.
time.
I don't know Marty.
Oh, Marty, dude, Marty is my boy from Louisiana
He's
who brought all the
badass.
Yingling.
Oh,
Oh,
you
he's
told me
an
about
idiot.
that.
Yeah.
He actually told me about you the other day.
Yeah, so Marty was gonna make it out to the Let's Play Gaming Expo, but like he had like a new medication. He got kind of sick, so like he wasn't feeling well. So like the last thing anybody should ever do is like fucking travel like more than like 30 minutes in a car. Like that's the worst. If you ever had to like drive,
Yeah, no, it's bad.
yeah,
I
dude, it's
got
the
it
worst.
right.
Like
Not a good idea.
I don't want to drive more than 15 minutes anywhere. let alone when I'm not feeling well. So like, yeah, that's shitty. But anyways, we love you, Marty. We're
Rock
a
and
big
roll,
fan.
man.
You're
Nice
the
to
best.
meet you.
So you're
Yeah.
still waiting on the Yingling then?
Yeah.
So do I get to sample this?
Oh, please,
never had
Marty.
Yingling?
I've never had
Hey,
Yingling.
how about we do
gotta
this?
Introduce you to the gospel of
How about
Jesus.
we do this? How about we do this? We're gonna
Crazy
make an episode where Marty is on the episode. We give him a specific episode, and Marty comes out for like a couple days, and we're gonna have you out, man. So if there he is, Camulus, what's up, buddy? And yeah, no, we'll have you out, man. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be the best. So we'll see you soon.
He said I
So-
felt like 10 hammered dog shits. Not just one, but 10.
He felt that bad, like dude, like I get that, man. Like,
I wasn't feeling good on Saturday either, so I feel you there.
but yeah, so you weren't feeling great on Saturday. You came out on Sunday, so you were at the Let's Play Gaming Expo with me.
LPGE.
LPGE, like acronyms are fun.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But like, I had a great time all weekend, man. Like, I believe in this expo. It was a lot of fun. We got to be on the stream for a little bit.
That's fun.
Like, what did you think?
I think they killed it, honestly. Like, the last, not to talk bad about other conventions, but I mean, the last time I was at the Irving Convention Center was for Dallas Comic Show.
Yeah.
And it was dead. We
Yeah.
went for like 20 minutes, brought my son, everything. Like, I mean, we showed up, walked around in 20 minutes, and there was like 20 people in the entire place.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Bail,
And,
bail, bail.
bailed,
Yeah,
bailed,
yeah,
bailed
man.
quickly. And, you know, that sucks. I mean, because, you know, I like supporting small businesses and small conventions and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, Let's Play, yeah. We walked in there, I was like, oh man, this place is bumping already. First thing I see is a freaking McLaren on the top of the garage. And it's like Ash Ketchum.
P1 or what? Are we
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah. It was a nice
Yeah.
car. And it was a nerdy one too, because it said like Ash Ketchum on the back of it and the license plate. And I was like, okay, this is dope. So yeah, then we came in and like it was pretty bumping, walked around quite a bit. Saw your wife, got some art from her,
Yep.
some pictures. It was great.
Yeah, you guys bought like a couple pieces.
Yeah,
man.
What
Like,
pieces did you buy? Because
Um,
I got a piece of his Tips art too.
We got one of the roses, and then we got one of the was it the lion, tiger. Tiger. Yeah, the tiger.
it's always
The
tiger.
tiger.
Oh man,
So-
I got like a gnarly
It's
zombie
always
bride
tigers.
with missing the jaw.
Dude,
Oh,
the
yeah.
one that you have is
It's one of my
vintage,
one of
yeah.
my favorite pieces. So.
And then like, I didn't take a ton of pictures, but I took one so far that I've edited. It was of Tiff, and she was like, ah. Funny enough, that photo is actually her head is from a different photo, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
You edited that?
Yeah, I did.
That's so weird.
Because she
man.
was like waving, and so it was like this massive blur, and so I like had to remove it because I don't like blurs when they're not supposed to be blurry. So I took her head
Right.
off a different photo and put it on the photo that you saw. And there you go.
I wouldn't have even known that.
No, yeah, exactly. That's the whole
So,
point.
like,
You're not
I'm-
supposed to know.
I think
Magic.
It's like
Magic.
it's an illusion, Michael. It's an illusion. But no, it was a really good time, man. Like I
fun.
had a blast at the Let's Play
We
Gaming
played the
Expo.
Sony Nintendo thingy. That was
Oh,
cool.
dude, like
I'm
the
not
Nin-
gonna lie,
the
I'm
Nin- the-
completely jealous about this.
The Nintendo PlayStation. Okay, so
Oh, there you go.
there's
That's
a
cool.
lot there was a lot of things about the Let's Play Gaming Expo that a lot of people don't get to see or appreciate, but like it was bonkers, man. Like the Nintendo PlayStation. Like, have I failed you in on this?
No.
Okay, so the Nintendo PlayStation. Let me give you guys a little bit of rundown. And I learned this because of our good friend, PSP, Scott Patterson, told me about this. The Nintendo PlayStation was presented at an E3 as like a Nintendo and Sony team-up console. It had a disc tray.
This was what
And, like-
we
and,
tried
like-
to pin it down. It was like what 94,
It was
95,
like
something
right
around there?
right before the SNES came out, or right after. And I think it was like supposed to be right after. I think it was supposed to bridge like the SNES and like the PS1. And it has like a cartridge spot on the top
that's pretty cool.
and everything, but like they only made like two. And they presented one at E3 and they're like, this is our thing. And then in Nintendo, in Nintendo fashion, they're like, oh, we're not going to have Sony produce our stuff. Like, Philips is going to make our content. And Sony was like, excuse me, what the fuck?
Yeah, wait, what?
What the fuck? And so they went two ways. So they only made like one or two of these consoles. But there are like dozens of games and cartridges that are made that are floating around. And when we went, like the guy who owns the one Nintendo PlayStation was so amazing. He would let everyone play it. He was like, if you want to hold it, you can take a picture. I got to play, like, it's the rarest console in the world.
That's
was dope.
amazing.
It's the only one that exists.
And Chris was like, is that Zelda? And the guy was like, yeah, I don't know. I haven't played it yet.
I haven't played it yet.
I was
And I'm
like,
like,
"What?"
can we play it? And so he put it in. Shane played it. He's never played that game.
Yeah.
And Shane was the first person to play it.
I was like, this is sick.
Yeah.
And, like,
Where did he get
this
it
is-
from?
This is
He
completely
just has a bunch of
different.
games.
He has them,
Never
dude.
played
Like,
them.
But I mean, where did he get the system
He
from?
got the system from like
An
his
auction?
business,
An
his,
auction,
an auction.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is completely different than like the one-off like small companies like, oh, I'm gonna make a game console. This is like two of the biggest powerhouses getting wasted one night and creating
Let's
a
make a
love
baby.
child, and you put your hands on it. And that's amazing to me.
was great.
That's bad as
I
shit.
played
It
with a
was-
bastard child of two major corporations.
Yeah,
It's pretty legit.
I mean they don't exist, dude.
Yeah.
It was really cool, and then and just being able to be a part of it. Like I believe in that expo. It's hard to explain because like when you get bored, you're like, I'm walking around and you're like, there's a Nintendo and a TV and Ninja Turtles on the Nintendo. I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm gonna try that out. And you're like, yeah. By the way, still fuck that game. That
Yeah, by
game
the
is
way.
still hard. It's awful. It's the worst.
Original games do not deal with this generation. They're like, oh, you want extra lives? No.
Oh,
fuck
you want
Yeah.
regenerative health?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spawn
But-
points? What are
Fuck your
those?
sister.
But it's so funny, man, because it's like there's such a huge audience for that like are like wanting to still play that. So by and large, I'm so glad that I got to be a part of the Let's Play Gaming Expo.
Oh,
It
hell
was
yeah.
amazing.
I landed some
It
Halo,
was-
by the way.
What's that?
I landed some Halo.
Yeah?
Halo 1 on the original Xbox. There was like 6 of them set up or
I
whatever.
don't know you that well, but I will eat your lunch at Halo.
Oh, dude, I owned
I
everybody.
will eat
It was
your
amazing.
fucking lunch.
It was great. We're gonna have to do, we're
Deal.
gonna put some
Yeah.
money where some mouth is, man. I will play some Halo
3 meals.
game. Let's do it.
It's on.
So we're gonna have
So next
Halo
next
competition.
week
We wanna
we're
do
next
this
week
on
we're
this
live
thing?
streaming
I'll do
Halo.
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got it. I got
Alright,
it.
So
Got you.
next Wednesday live streaming Halo.
See-
live streaming Halo.
Yeah. that's
All right,
fine. Yeah.
done.
Done?
Done.
Woo! I don't mean my
Alright
butt
then.
handed to me.
Yeah.
Dude, no, I was kicking ass. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, holy shit, I'm on fire! This is great!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
I mean, like right next to the streaming booth. Remember,
Yeah,
like they had
yeah,
like
right there.
Halo 2, like all these like
That's where I
booths
was
set up.
playing,
Yeah.
like right there.
Yeah, it's
it was
awesome,
great.
man. Yeah.
The dude was like, oh, you got the rocket launcher. I'm like, hey, it's on the map, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, like oh, like you know where they put that thing in the game that everyone else does. Like you suck. It's like
This game's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Maybe you should be faster at playing this 20-year-old game. It was, dude. It was such a great time, man. That's my point. It's like,
good.
like there was indie developers. Like there was a VR beer pong game.
I missed that. That was sounding so
It was,
cool,
dude,
though.
like VR beer pong, and then there was another.
Did you
There
play
was
the
another.
Rad?
Yeah, dude. There was another game by an indie developer, and it was an AR game, and they had like a little like robot that you can control, and like it was like Project. I will get back to you
Did you
guys.
see
We'll
Star
plug it.
Citizen, though? I'm surprised they had Star Citizen, though, which is a pretty big game for PC that was Kickstarted. They got like $7 million or something.
I think it's one of the biggest
Yeah.
Kickstarters ever.
Yeah, they were there, had a whole booth. They had the full panel screen with
Yeah.
the ARM controllers and stuff. It was, I mean, that's a badass game. It's like
Yeah.
a space.
Oh, I'm all about it when it
Oh yeah,
releases.
cool. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
was like, holy crap, that's there too. And then they had like T-Mobile van or truck thing. That was crazy.
T-Mobile van or trunk.
Well, it was
that
like this
sounds
giant.
Really
it was
racy.
like a box truck thing, right? How would you classify that?
Oh, the T-Mobile thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a portable truck, man.
But
Like,
it was a box truck with half the side butt
Yeah.
gutted open. You know, like,
Right.
filled it up.
I mean,
nice.
they were one of the sponsors.
Yeah.
Our show, the RedBeard Live, RedBeard TV, the YouTube channel, we were a sponsor, and like it was awesome, like having Shane there, and our good friend Tech Force came out. He was on the stream. Our good friend Scott Patterson, who's been on the show, he was on the stream. It was a really good time, and I'm like really grateful that I got a chance to be a part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Tiff had a great time. My kiddo sold some art.
Yeah.
Made some money. It was fucking rad, man.
It was a
if you
catch
guys
line, by
if you
the
guys
way.
want to come out and have a good time at an expo, like check out Let's Play Gaming Expo. Follow them on all their social medias. It was super fun. It was one of those things, you go to a convention a lot of times and like you're like, I've been to E3 like 4 times.
Yeah.
I've been to Comic-Con like 2 or 3 times. You wait in line forever
Yeah.
to like touch something, and like, but this is all about gaming from.
I had a friend that was saying it felt like a homegrown PAX or something. Like,
Yeah.
It's all about the game devs, the indie games. not waiting in line for 14 hours to play whatever the newest,
Yeah.
latest, and greatest. It's about like appreciating your roots, having a good time with friends, you know, landing. I mean, just having fun.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to work, I would have been there. I mean,
Yeah.
it was one of those things where.
Yeah.
And for
starts
my
in line run,
followers,
yeah.
they have cosplay this year too. That was the first time they really. Did
It was
the
a really.
cosplay scene.
There was actually like a really significant cosplay turnout.
Which
So
I'm
that
like
was
pissed
awesome.
because I missed it because I was sick, but that's
Yeah.
okay. I knew that. I mean, Crystal Star was a judge.
Yeah.
Was half of the other judge? Or?
No, D Rich was, yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah, so our good friends, by the way, plan is to have Crystal Star on next week's show. So if you guys are cosplay fans and you follow Shannon at Roxas, make sure that you check out next week. That's the plan.
I should make her come to cosplay. That'd be hilarious.
That would be great. Yeah, she probably
she
would.
has a you paint minifigs, the war something.
Warhammer?
Warhammer.
Warhammer, yeah.
Her and her husband do Warhammer, and he has like legit like 9 foot tall Warhammer. Like,
That is a level of
outfits.
art that I respect a
Yeah,
lot.
it is.
Not
Well, I mean,
a
like
lot of
well,
people
Crystal,
do.
Crystal
Yeah.
has that like giant Warhammer.
Yeah, she has
outfit.
a matching one. Yeah.
The cosplay that they go out and
stupid,
buy. Yeah,
yeah.
it's amazing, man. It's
Some
so
of those
great.
get very beautiful when they're
yeah.
really
Yeah.
talented artists.
So, anyways, Let's Play Gaming X was awesome. If you guys haven't, make sure you follow them. Make sure you come out next year. It was a ton of fun, and it was a great time. So, that was great. So, Mike, what do we got on the movie news for this week? We had a couple announcements, right?
Yeah, Alien Covenant comes out.
He's like, yes.
Alien Covenant on Blu-ray, 4K, and DVD comes out next
HDR.
week.
So, some people still have a DVD player, I guess.
I mean, like,
And
If I could
digital?
find this on VHS, I would never buy it.
So, can you get digital 4K releases or just
yeah,
the disc?
yeah. It's
4K?
the digital's already out. So if you want to buy Alien Covenant, and like, let me preface this. Like, so one of the main reasons we're like we're revisiting Alien, our good friend Handsome Patrick.
Handsome
is-
Patrick.
Handsome Patrick.
Handsome Patrick.
Golf clap. Handsome Patrick. Handsome Patrick. Is
Why
a
is it
big.
fuck you guys?
He's a huge Alien franchise fan. I've known Patrick for a long time. Mike's known Patrick for a long time. Shane has known Patrick for about a week or two.
No, I've known you for like 6 months.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
a while, man. Yeah.
He was on a show a while ago.
I mean, we were like blackout into the other planet, but
Yeah.
we
Oh,
got
that's
there.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, you were at my birthday.
Yeah,
No, you were at Jen's
motherfucker.
birthday
Yeah,
party,
Yeah,
weren't
yeah,
you?
Yeah.
That's right.
Or
Okay.
graduation. I thought it was your birthday. I don't know.
Yeah,
one of those.
something
Yeah.
where we drank a
It
lot.
was
Yeah.
an event.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun though.
Yeah. So, but regardless, man, like one of the best times that I have, some of the best times that I have with Patrick is we sit there and we dissect the Alien franchise, and like the most recent one, of course, is Alien Covenant, which is already out digitally. But like, I don't believe in digital stuff when it comes to movies. I will buy the physical media.
Yeah.
I want it on 4K. Like Target, I think,
bookshelf looking at
has
it.
an amazing Blu-ray.
It's a beautiful cover on that thing. It really is. I wish I could like put it up and show you, but it's one of those things where it has every phase of Xenomorph throughout the franchise, from Egg to the one in Resurrection to the Queen, and it's something else. And
I want like an encyclopedia with like all the dudes.
they
notes.
have it. It's called the Wayland Yutani Report.
That is
and
dope.
It,
Okay.
it's basically like a coffee table book,
Yeah.
but it goes through the franchise from the perspective of the company, and it kind of gives you a very clinical, analytical look at like, okay, this event happened, we lost a ship, blah 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 blah, all the way up until like the stupid alien resurrection. You know, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was dog shit. But it was one of those things where Chris and I saw this movie independently of one another.
So Covenant,
Yeah,
the newest
Covenant,
one, yeah.
Covenant independently. We see a lot of movies together, but this one we saw that, apart. And like immediately afterward, we were like immediately texting. We had a lot of criticisms. We had a lot of compliments, but we also had a lot of criticisms. And it's one of those things where it's coming out this week. I'm about to give it the 3rd watch that I've ever had, and it's something I'm nervous, and I want to see all the deleted scenes that were
Yeah.
cut into it.
Yeah.
Is there a director's cut or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
mean, like, well,
no,
I mean-
there's never been a director's cut from Prometheus on.
Okay, got
Well-
It's a fan job.
I mean, you say Prometheus on, like there hasn't been a director cut since the last movie.
Yeah.
I mean, but there has been a Ridley Scott.
Aliens with James Cameron had a director's cut.
So there hasn't been a director's cut since Aliens.
Correct.
But Alien 3 did have one.
That was actually assembly cut. I don't remember if that was a.
Well, the David Fincher, of course, has a director's cut. So
No, he pretty much cut ties with 20th Century Fox after that happened.
hold on, I have the Alien Blu-ray set,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure there's an
I
Alien 3
want to say
director's
that the
cut.
assembly
Yeah.
cut was done by other people and not
Right,
Fincher's.
not Fincher, yeah.
So you
Like,
can't.
like a producer's cut?
Maybe. I can't.
It was a director's cut.
Well, it wasn't the director that did it. It changes a lot of things because the ox alien or the dog alien was changed to an ox alien and that kind of thing.
Oh, Jesus.
There were some pretty intense changes that were done to it, and I really want to say that David Fincher had nothing to do with that cut.
Okay, so ultimately though, you know, we're dealing in a world now like the Screen Junkies guys just released a Alien Covenant like honest trailer, which came out yesterday, which I think we like kind of all watched, which is really really funny. And it, like I think the thing that stood out like the most about that honest trailer was at the very beginning. It was like, and like now with Alien Covenant, the scales have been balanced. There are more worse Alien movies than there are good ones. And it was funny because it's like, yeah, like Ridley Scott has directed now more Alien movies than anyone else, but only I'm a fan of Prometheus. I like Prometheus a lot.
With you on that.
But Alien Covenant wasn't really an Alien or Prometheus sequel, but it was another Alien movie, but it still had a lot of core elements that didn't make it an Alien movie. It's like, what makes Alien movies good is kind of the mystery, but like you could explain things.
Yeah.
But Ridley Scott is like fucking off his rocker.
Here's more questions. Have fun.
Yeah.
Well, if we circle back to Alien 3 for a minute, the assembly cut, David Fincher has nothing to do with it. It adds 37 minutes and 12 seconds to the film.
But David Fincher did not do it.
It said David Fincher was the only director from the franchise who declined to participate in the box set releases.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So they cut that without him.
That's what
I see this why
The Bomb said as well on Twitch.
Oh, there we go. The Bomb, there you go, you know.
Thanks for backing me up.
Yeah, I believe you.
It's one of those things where, you know, you mentioned questions, and the first movie asked a lot of questions that it didn't answer, and I'm completely okay with a franchise not answering questions that it asks within the realms of its runtime. Sure. I'm completely okay with that. The problem that I have with it asks questions that it gives stupid answers to midway through.
Yeah.
That's where I'm kind of like, oh man.
You know what? Another franchise that did that really like a lot was Lost. You remember Lost?
I never made it all the way through.
Okay,
I
so
kind of bailed halfway through that
Lost
series.
would always like leave you with
smoke.
It would but what happened like
Funny
Mike,
thing
did you ever
is,
watch
David
Lost?
Lindelof, writer on
wrote
Lost, wrote on
Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Yeah. Look, David Lindelof, who wrote like the first season and a lot of Lost, which I loved. I liked a lot of parts about Lost, but they would leave an episode on like a cliffhanger, and then like 3 episodes later they would subtly answer it. No, they would answer it, but it wasn't like a payoff. It was like, oh, you were wondering who this person was? This is it. And like, but like, I think maybe Lost was ahead of its time because you have things like Game of Thrones where you have people who recap it and the showrunners, and they go through and they're just like, oh man, well this is the revelation that we just gave you, and then there's this, and then there's this.
I feel like with Lost, that at some point they had an ending to it, and then ABC was like, we're making so much money, we need more seasons, and they didn't have a clear-cut ending, and then it kind of goes to shit. 'Cause I feel like if you're going to write something, it should have a beginning and end, and then you work out the middle.
Yeah.
Then you know your destination where you're going. You have a definitive end. But if they're like, here's more money, don't kill this cash cow.
So, for example, could you give me an example, Mike, of a time that you've seen a series or like a TV series or a movie series where they've done that really well?
Well, the movie series would be Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, because
with the exception of
they wrote the beginning and the end. And
but the Dark Knight Rises they had to rewrite because of
they had an end too, but they had to change it because of Heath Ledger. But they always knew where it was going to go. That Batman, Bruce Wayne was going to retire and someone else was going to pick up the mantle.
Yeah,
they knew that was where it was going to go, and they wrote Man of Steel in between Dark Knight Rises because
shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had like a mental block. So Christopher Nolan and David Goyer just like they want to do something else to get their mind flowing again, and they wrote that whole screenplay.
Rock and roll.
And did all that. But like Breaking Bad you knew where they had an end point, and they were only going to do a set amount of seasons and then be done.
So do you feel
like Game of Thrones could have ended at the 6th season, but HBO was like, we make so much money,
we keep it going.
We need to keep it
well,
going.
It couldn't because like we know that George R.R. Martin is writing 2 more books, and he knows the end, and he's told the showrunners the end, and he's like I'm gonna guide you the way.
Yeah, he's given.
But like
if
I
he's
feel
giving
like
them an end, then that'll work because they can get to that end that he has plan. So
And they
you're not
already
just
have. For people who watched the last episode, top notch. I know, Mike, you're catching up, so we're not going to talk anything about Game of Thrones.
I
with
still
Mike
feel
on
like
this
he'd
one.
throw a curveball and be like, fuck you, I'm changing the books. Or something like, I'm going to tell
I'm
you
okay
one
with
thing,
that.
but the book's
Yeah.
going to be completely different. Like,
Fucking George R. R. Martin.
I
man.
could see him doing it.
That guy is fucking old. He's never gonna write those last 2 books, dude. Dude, he hasn't written a book
oh, yeah, no, it's taking him
in
forever.
the entire time that the show has been on TV. Like, HBO played a crapshoot, and they were like, this motherfucker will release a book or 2 in the time we're done, because we're starting on season 1, and we're going to do 7 seasons.
Yeah, that was 2011.
Yeah, and you know what George R. R. Martin did? Fucking nothing. He hasn't released
He didn't need
nothing.
to. He's an old man with money. He's George Lucas. He doesn't
like,
need
meh.
to.
Oh, man.
Now he's got a whole series behind him. He's like, why? Do I really need to finish these books? Nah.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it. Like, I don't care. Yeah, what are you doing?
Well, I feel like The Walking Dead, I think, is going to run into that problem to where if the TV show does not have a definitive end where they know they're going to go to like 9 seasons or 10 seasons, then you're going to kind of have that shitty ending, kind of like Lost, where it's just a cloud, or there's no definitive ending. If when you get to the end of Breaking Bad, there's a definitive ending of the main character.
I honestly think that if you think that Game of Thrones is going to have a satisfying ending for every fan, you're mistaken.
Oh no, it
There are
won't.
people that
There's
are
no
rooting
way.
for certain people, and it's just one of
But
the
see,
things.
that's the
I mean,
problem
yeah,
with me,
Game
though.
of
I
Thrones,
feel like
it will never end in a perfect way for the
exactly,
fandom.
and I
you
feel
know?
like, but I feel like the TV show would actually affect George R. R. Martin and how he's going to finish the books, like, because he knows what's going on this season, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because he's helping direct it.
And that's
So-
what's so unique, man. And like, I kind of have a lot of like, I'm relieved that I'd never read the books. And
I read it
like,
first, yeah.
Dude, like I normally do like Walking Dead. I've read the books before I've seen the show.
Yeah.
Like Lord of the Rings, I've read the books before I've seen the show. Harry Potter, I read the books before I've seen it. Most comic book movies, I've read the books before I've seen it. And I do a lot of compare and contrast. It's just what I do. But with like Game of Thrones, I'm like, you know what? I fucking love this show so much. I don't want to ruin it by knowing.
It follows
And
it pretty
then-
well, though, and then all of a sudden it just takes a right-hand turn. It's
Well,
like done.
no,
It's
it
like,
does.
whoa,
It does. But like now everyone who's
off,
fans
yeah.
of the books
Yeah.
are like bitter because now they're getting ahead of what they know.
Yeah.
And me, I'm just like,
oh, well, it's all I know.
it's all I know. And so if George R. R. Martin actually releases the books, I'll reread the books like when enough time has passed and be like, I appreciate this is a new form of art as opposed to reading it before. So like it was one of those decisive decisions that I made as a fan
Yeah, that makes sense.
to not do that.
Well,
You know
because
what I
like
mean?
Walking Dead, I mean, they're basically completely different from the story, right?
They are now,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, like, but like the whole point is Robert Kirkman. I always think Workman, because our good friend Robert Workman, like it's so close. But Robert Kirkman, like his first thing was like, I'm gonna keep making this show until I can't make it anymore. But back to Aliens. Like,
Before I say anything, Bob Baum has said that he's a huge Fincher fan and he would love to see him do a definitive version of Alien 3. I would absolutely love that. I don't think it'll ever happen, but I'm with you. I'm sitting with you on that one. If it ever happened, I don't care if I'm 85 years old and David Fincher's on his deathbed and he cuts it. I would be happy with that. Anything he touches is gold.
Who does Fincher work with now? Because he doesn't work with Fox anymore.
Paramount is the last time. I know he signed for a World War Z sequel, and
that'd be
I know
Paramount.
he's doing a new show for Netflix called Mindhunters.
yeah,
I want to say he started off with House of Cards, and he kicked off a few episodes and directed the last episodes of a few seasons. But it's one of those
So
things.
he'd
where
have to work it out. Him and Fox would have to somehow get together.
I don't
and-
care
and
what
piece
happens.
it
That
out
man
somehow.
is my messiah, and he's a filmmaking genius, and he's perfect to me.
So Fincher is your favorite director.
Without question.
Yeah. So, well, you can't hear the.
people cannot hear the music that's in her head, but Barbie Girl is on right now.
Barbie Girl's playing right
And
now.
Shane is outstanding. If I could high five him from this side of the room, I would.
Yeah.
Air
Go
high-
go
air-
gadget high five.
Air 5. So you guys are always talking about the Alien. There's now Ridley Scott's making another one that takes place between.
Possibly. There's been
maybe.
talks of Fox canceling and rebooting kind of thing.
Well-
I don't know what the credibility to that
Well, I
is.
saw this one for the dollar amount. It lost $34 million in a release, so maybe they may not do it. But you guys talked about before where they're going to do it's between Covenant and Prometheus. It's like
Yeah, so like from like
It's like
from what I
prequel
understand
sequel.
is like I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like Ridley Scott is like lost his shit. Like
Are we going to go on the Blomkamp thing?
Hold on,
Oh, God,
hold
no.
on. Yes, we can.
Yeah,
Yes, we can.
we
So
should.
the Honest Trailers did an excellent job of kind of representing how great Ridley Scott is. Like Ridley Scott, the greatest director of all time, and also the worst director of our modern time. Because like it shows like all the
shows
great
all
movies that he
those
made,
movies.
and all these weird movies. Because he needs a producer that understands the content and someone to rein him in. But when you get to that level of success, you're like, I feel like that's what's happening. Is it just like he just loves Michael Fassbender so fucking much.
as he should.
And no, Michael Fassbender's great. I love him. I like the Assassin's Creed movie. But Michael Fassbender needs to be a voice of reason. He's like, I don't need to play two people in one movie. I mean,
Maybe he's bought into the vision, or he's bought into the paycheck.
Yeah.
The money,
I mean-
money talks, homie.
I feel like Michael Fassbender is an underrated actor. I mean, he doesn't get a starring role. He did Assassin's Creed, which there may or may not be another one. But he's
Did
like
you
a-
ever see Shame? About him being the sex addict in New York and his sister
Right.
Like to me, that was like guaranteed proof that he is.
Did you see George Clooney on the Oscars and made the joke about that that he's the only man that can play golf without a golf club? Yeah.
The man is hung like a buffalo.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. It's got
Yeah,
it's like a wrestler's elbow, man.
But anyway, now that we're done talking about dicks, so
It's making it
we're
uncomfortable.
never done talking about dicks.
never.
Not in the
So-
Ass-Play Nation.
So
gotta
talk.
tie
So
mine
give
around
your,
my ankle.
give your theory with Neil's Alien 5 that was
Okay,
scrapped
so-
because of Ridley Scott.
Yeah, so my theory, and we've talked a little bit about this,
Chris
is
and I
that
have talked to
yeah.
death.
So Neil Blomkamp, who everyone should follow, if you haven't already started watching Oath Studios, Oath Studios has a bunch of great shorts. Like you came over the other day, and I was like, no, he's got new stuff.
I was
And you're-
blitzed, and I
yeah.
don't remember, but I
You-
remember it being like a 5-minute one, and I've
Yeah,
seen
it
all
was
the
it
other
was the
ones,
CG
yeah.
one where like
Yeah.
they had the weapons. Yeah,
Yes.
it's awesome. No,
Yeah.
it's you were right in the way that like no one that is a weapon creator would have that conversation,
Yeah.
but it was fun.
Right.
It was so Oath Studios, like Neil Blomkamp and his brother are just like throwing money at a
They're
wall.
amazing.
And
Please
they're
watch
just and so they're just basically like publishing other aspiring, short film artists to do stuff. And it's really neat and it's really good. But the first one was Rakas, right? Was Neil Blomkamp's. He made the first movie.
It was Raqqa, Firebase, God Serengeti.
But God Serengeti almost doesn't count. It was like Rakas,
minutes,
Firebase, and then the last.
the one with the multi-hand. Shit.
Yeah, the like it was like it
Zygote.
Was, Zygote. So they're making these great independent films, but fucking Shane over here. No, but he got Sigourney Weaver to be in his very first YouTube movie, and I have a feeling that at least some of the concepts, some of the ideas, was what he was going to use for Alien 5 because he was working on Alien 5, and it was the best idea ever. Where he's just like, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that Alien 3 Beyond
It was supposed to be a hypersleep dream.
didn't exist, which has worked in the past. It's worked in the past, and it would have been dope as shit. Like, it would have been a lot of fun, except, like, Ridley Scott came in and was like, I'm making a Prometheus sequel. It's about the engineers. It's about how humankind was developed and how weapons were developed. And then Fox come around and they're like, well, so we got this Neil Blomkamp guy, and he's making an Alien 5, and he's got Sigourney Weaver on.
As far as
On
I
hold.
know, they made it as far as prop construction and makeup testing for this thing. It wasn't just like a floating around ideas thing. They were doing
If he got
concept
Sigourney
stuff.
Weaver to be on his movie,
Yeah.
Sigourney
Isn't it
Weaver was
big-
in District 5 with them, so they have a
No,
relationship.
she was in the D Antwoord one.
Chappie.
Chappie, yeah.
Oh yeah, Chappie.
Yeah.
That's right. She's not in District. She's in Chappie.
Can I ask a really random question?
Yeah.
Please do.
How did
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver. How did she get on Finding Nemo or Finding Dory?
Oh, she was the voice of the.
She has her own like aquarium in this movie. Did you know that?
She was the park
voice, the voice,
announcer.
the
Yeah,
voice.
voice, yeah.
The Sigourney Weaver is like all about like.
Is she from
Restore-
Australia though? Or
No, that was like.
No,
where they're from.
that took place in San Francisco.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
like one, it's Disney. Two, Sigourney Weaver's amazing and she likes the environment. I mean, come on.
And aliens,
And aliens.
apparently.
But yeah, no, it was crazy that that Sigourney Weaver was kind of left out in the cold, and then Neil Blomkamp put her in Ruckus. I mean, like it was great. I don't know. What did you think?
Rocco?
Yeah.
There's a thing about Neil Blomkamp where there's never been a project that he has touched where I can complain about every single thing. Some stories may be weak. His industrial design has always been on point. The cyborg design in Elysium, the industrial work in District 9 as far as the overall design language of
Yeah.
the company, the MEU, I think is what it's called. There's never been something that has been absolutely flawless, but there's never been something that I absolutely hated out of everything he does.
Yeah.
I can never complain about everything. I mean,
Did you know that Joss Whedon wrote the script for an Alien 5 with Sigourney Weaver and she turned it down?
I thought.
Before Neil
Yep.
Blomkamp's version of it?
Yep. Didn't Joss Whedon direct? No, that was the French guy that directed.
No,
RedBeard.
Joss Whedon wrote part of Alien 3. It went through 5 different writers, but Joss Whedon wrote
One of them.
a,
Okay.
a big part of Alien
Okay.
3. So it was just a lot of other bullshit, man. It was. What are you doing? Hey.
Am I distracting? I'm distracting.
No, it's
you.
fine. We're just talking like we're all over the place with the social medias and the RedBeard Live. We really appreciate you guys like hanging out with us. But back to the core Alien topic. We got Alien coming out, Covenant coming out next week on actual physical tangible disc, which as you and I are both fans of, is like actually buying tangible media. So
Collecting
like,
them.
and we both now have 4K TVs and we're kind of obnoxious and we're snobs about it.
Master Race.
Oh, dude, fucking 4K Master Race. I don't give a shit, man. It's the best. It's to the point where it looks almost fake, and I'm just like, I don't give a shit, man. It looks so good, and I'm gonna buy it. We're gonna go home and pick up Kong on the way home on 4K.
Kong was good,
Kong is excellent, man.
Directing the Metal Gear Solid
The
movie.
director is making the Metal Gear Solid movie. We'll touch that in topic. Get in a second. Hold
Metal
on.
Gear is my religion.
Yeah, but like, what are some of the loopholes in Alien Covenant, Patrick, that you want to like maybe close up or like try to understand? Because we've talked about it on RedBeard Live before, and the fact that like he asked more questions. Ridley Scott specifically, after Prometheus, he made a sequel to Prometheus, but an Alien prequel, and like on his trailers, it was like Alien 5, Prometheus 2, and it was like the truest like depiction. It's like, what movie are you making, dude? Like, pull your head out of your ass and make one fucking movie and not 80. So what do you think? What are some of the questions that you want answered? What are some of the plot holes that you just want
Okay.
filled?
Honestly, what's her face? Newbie Ray Pace. What's her character's name?
Dr.
Shaw.
Dr. Shaw.
Shaw and David's character dynamic was so bitchin', man. It was so bitchin'.
Oh, the very
And
beginning?
yeah.
Yeah,
and- Well, throughout the end of Prometheus.
Gotcha.
And it just totally blue-balled me on that when I walked into the theater, and it gave me fucking nothing. And I know that there was supplementary content that they put out on YouTube, and Chris and I had this conversation where if it's not in the final cut of the film, it does not exist. You have to assume that everything that, everybody isn't going to go out and look at YouTube and look at really important stuff that should be in the film.
I missed the whole trailer thing, and you guys pointed it out to me where with the whole like rock climbing thing, and the guy James Franco was in it, and his little
Yeah.
It's like, why is he even in here?
All of the great parts were like on YouTube, and and then they pulled them. Like, it feels like Ridley Scott was trying to do this multimedia thing, and it was like,
That's neat and everything. But
it's neat, and I
It's
saw
real.
it, but you're half-assing something. You're trying to do a multimedia stuff, and we're not there.
And
like
it's more confusing, man.
Well, I mean, not only that, but like if you were to do a direct to like video,
Yeah.
this is the big question. This is the big problem that people have, where it's like, AMC AMC just reported their fucking stock earnings, and they're crashing because they're not competing. Movie companies are not competing with direct to movies, like direct to DVD, direct to streaming. You know, like Netflix has great stuff, which is going to lead into our next topic, which is about Disney.
That's right.
But you have like AMC, like people are no longer going to see it. Like I can say this: I went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2 in 3D in IMAX. And I'll be honest, I'm a little arrogant because I'm like 4K master race now.
Okay.
I was like, this would look better on my 4K TV with me sitting in front of it.
I cannot wait.
I'm looking forward to more seeing Guardians of the Galaxy 2 on my 4K TV in 4K than I saw it in.
Well, I've been hearing that
theater.
3D is dying anyways, honestly.
Well, yeah, 3D is not a thing.
Yeah, 3D needs to die.
Good.
Explain to us, Mike. Mike, you are the most opinionated.
Unless it's James Cameron's Avatar. Other than that, 3D can die off.
It's like paper flying in your face and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah,
like,
if it's made to where James Cameron was made, where you need to be in a 3D environment, that's different. If you're watching, say, like Resident Evil, and you're just like knives are flying towards your head, or like that awful Green Lantern movie we went to go see, and it's just like, you know, machine gun bullets are shooting at you. It's not worth like the extra like $5 or $8 for what it is.
Yeah.
But if it's James Cameron, the only thing I'd pay 3D for again would for when Avatar.
Yeah, I'm
Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5, or whatever those are gonna happen.
Right, because
if those are gonna happen ever.
When you watch that movie not in 3D,
We're gonna
you're
be
missing
septuagenarians when that
so
shit
much
comes out.
what?
of the interaction with it.
Big words, Patrick.
big
Okay,
word.
what was it again?
We're gonna be septuagenarians when those.
I don't
things
even know
come
what
out.
that means.
What the fuck is a septuagenarian?
It's when you're in your 70s.
You're really old.
Octogenarian is 80s. Septuagenarian is 70s.
Why don't you just say when
No,
we're
no.
fucking 70? Jesus Christ.
I'm never coming on the show. I'm gonna kick his ass in Halo, and I'm retiring.
And then you're done. Never be on the show
This
again.
asshole is big words, septuagenarian.
Fuck, I'm lost. I have a good vocabulary. Fuck. I thought I did anyways. Like, shit.
Well, I mean, apparently a septuagenarian can make a bunch of crappy alien movies, and we keep giving him money.
Keep giving
Yeah.
money.
Oh, but we will. I mean, so when it comes out, what are some of the things that you're looking for when Alien Covenant is going to come out on disc next week? It's already on it digitally, which you can go pick up. But I mean, visually, it's a great movie.
It really is.
Visually, it's beautiful. I mean, I think he's got a great director of photography. But what is it that you're looking for to understand a little bit more about in the Alien franchise?
Honestly, it's one of those things where I want a featurette on the Blu-ray or whatever medium. It's a special feature, and they click on it, and it's literally just Ridley Scott leaving the house in his bathrobe, and his housekeeper is like, "No, Mr. Scott, please don't make another Alien." That's all I'm hoping for.
you don't make no more movies.
Yeah.
And that's basically probably going to be what's
Other than that, I would love, I don't know if you guys saw when they did commercials for David or they did commercials for Walter. Those were really well done. And if there's anything on the cutting room floor for those, I'm okay.
That Texas accent, though.
There would have to be a lot of duct tape to make Prometheus or to make Covenant work for me in a classic filmmaking kind of way.
Yeah.
This
And I don't
list
think-
has 90 minutes of extras on the
90 minutes
on
of
the Blu-ray
extras.
set. So
Well, there you go.
that could be behind the scenes.
Well, I mean,
an hour.
it's obviously going to be the YouTube video that came out with Dr.
James Franco.
Yeah. And James Franco,
in the
major
beginning of
actors
it.
that aren't in the movie.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me because I really truly feel, and we've talked about it before on this show, is that I feel like he was going to go and make a Prometheus 2 sequel, and he's like, I'm going to talk about the engineers, I'm going to make this movie. And then he caught wind that Neil Blomkamp was going to make an Alien 5, and he was like, well, my movie is now an Alien movie. We don't need him.
Well, do you think
We don't need him.
Do you think the movie may have suffered from too much editing?
No, I
they
feel
cut
like
too much to keep it in.
No,
a
because
2-hour
the
runtime?
parts that I see didn't make sense, and it was too focused on a lot of different things. It was focused on the origins of what a xenomorph is, but I got that from Prometheus.
I could be completely off base with this, but I think that Ridley Scott is far enough in his career that he has made so many classics that he actually has oversight as far as Final Cut. And I think that they showed it to him eventually, and he said, yeah, let's do it. I don't think that was a design by committee thing. At some point, he had to put a stamp of approval on there. And again, I could be completely wrong.
I mean, like, this is all conjecture. Like, this is what this whole show is,
Yeah.
man. We just have opinions about stuff. But, like, from what it seems to me, is that, like, I feel like even Fox coming to him being like, yo, Neil Blomkamp wants to make his Alien 5 movie. And he was like, shut it down. My movie is an Alien movie, and it was gonna be a Prometheus sequel. Like it was gonna be because the next movie is gonna be between Prometheus and this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
No one asked for that.
It was some young kid coming into his sandbox.
Yeah, and he was like not happening.
My toys.
Yeah.
My toys.
But
Why didn't you add the 7 minutes of YouTube content? That would have made my day. That little thing right there.
The parts where explain it.
That would have been like, oh, okay, this actually makes somewhat more sense.
If we
That
have to
whole
watch
7
it
minutes
together,
that explained.
I'm totally down because it's good content. It really is. I can't shit on it. It's just not in the fucking movie.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah. I was really surprised. I'm watching James Franco burn.
Yeah.
That is an Academy Award-winning
Yeah.
actor.
I'm like, why is he burning in the first 5
is
minutes?
he really?
What the shit is happening? Yeah.
I thought he was gonna like come back and be
And
like, a mummy or something.
there was two YouTube videos. There was the Last Supper where they're all sitting around and James Franco's like, oh, I'm sick. I gotta go to my cryo chamber.
Yeah.
And then there was the other one with Naomi Pierce.
Which, by the way, his burning alive, spoilers, doesn't have anything to do with his flu.
Exactly.
It was weird. That was
it was like misleading. It's like, hey, look over here.
Like the entire ship was just like he's sick.
Had they pulled him, had they opened his little cryo tube thing and he is dead because of his sickness, that would have made more sense than him roasting like a James Franco marshmallow at a Boy Scout campfire.
Was it more to try to make you feel like it's in the stomach and he's gonna bust out? We're gonna see this. Like, I'm sick.
No, because it didn't explain that, man. Like,
It's
like
like
it just the movie as a whole, it was piss poor at explaining a lot of things. But I'm gonna give it another chance, and like Fox is gonna get my money because I have to. I have to.
You're gonna go tomorrow or whenever it comes out and drop like $30 on the 4K.
I will spend money on it.
I will. Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. I have to.
Sorry,
I have
I'll
to have it. Yeah.
I'll complain about it all you want, but I'm buying it.
Yeah. It's beautifully shot. Like there's two. There's
yeah. We have Prometheus.
Okay.
No.
And again, like
series,
unpopular opinion, I love Prometheus, man. I thought it was a good movie. Like
I enjoyed it.
I would have loved having a Prometheus sequel and an Alien 5 at the same time.
So I don't know how long we want the show to go, but we've got a question in the comments here.
Okay.
Speaking of Ridley Scott, what's your thoughts of the Blade Runner sequel?
He produced it. It was just given a rated R movie. It's directed by Denis Villeneuve, which I am A-okay with.
Who made he made The Arrival and Sicario. Blade Runner 2049 is going to be the shit. Like it's probably going to be the best Ridley Scott outcome that we could possibly hope for. I mean, it's going to be a Ryan Gosling movie, which I'm like all about because like Ryan Gosling is the shit.
Can't do no wrong.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Drive is excellent, and it's actually not even directed by Ridley Scott. It's produced by Ridley Scott. But the director, have you seen Arrival yet?
No.
Okay.
I've only heard good things about it.
Oh, you gotta come over. I got it on the 4K.
I know it's good because Jeremy Renner's in it, and you suggest it to me all the time.
And Jeremy Renner is good in that movie.
That's
and
how I know it's good, because
Jeremy
you
Renner.
hate Jeremy Renner.
I hate Jeremy Renner.
Why? What do you mean?
Oh, because Jeremy Renner sucks.
He cannot carry a movie.
Because he sucks.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the Avengers movies with him in it? He's fucking awful.
Bob, what are you thinking of? What are you feeling about Blade Runner?
Back to you, Bob.
Back to you, Bob. But anyways, I'm excited about Blade Runner 2049, dude. That movie, like they're keeping true to a lot of the concepts, and it's coming out at the right time, especially with Ready Player One coming out next year.
Big 80s revival.
Big 80s revival, man, and it's keeping true. As a matter of fact, it's going to look better with Jared Leto. Doesn't look awful in it, and like he needs another great movie because I like Jared Leto as an actor. He wasn't a great Joker, but he also was dealing with what he had. Yeah. He was Jared Leto was a shitty Joker, man. Like,
and so we touched on it briefly, but our next topic was about Netflix and Disney. Did you want to do that real quick?
So real quick, Disney is gonna pull their movies from Netflix. They don't have a plan to do their own streaming service until 2019. Raise your hand if you will spend money on a Disney streaming service.
Depending on what it offers.
I'm torn.
Disney
If
streaming
it
service.
offers the entire library of Disney,
Or the
I am
newest-
game.
Because that's the thing, like they have the vault and they don't release those movies every couple of months.
I mean, I'll
Because
buy
I
it.
buy them all.
But
so I
also
don't
at the
know.
same time, it's not coming out till 2019. So you have Disney
So
creating
here's-
content.
Is it Disney
So here's-
Pixar as
now-
well? Or just
The
Disney?
Pixar is owned by Disney now.
Yeah, they're owned by Disney.
That
Now,
sucks.
now
But
we're
I mean,
like,
Pixar movies
we're like
blow.
a year and a half away, but there's an article quoted that says Disney service is the only place in the U.S. where viewers can watch new live-action animated movies from Disney and Pixar, including Toy Story 4 and the Frozen sequel. So the question is, do you skip going to the theater and go directly to digital, and you charge like $15 a month,
I
and
really
that's
think
your
that
streaming service? Like,
But I bet you they still wouldn't release them until like 6 months after the freaking movie
I'm
came out.
with
anyways.
him on that.
right? If they're still gonna do a theatrical release or or do the Netflix route, and
If they go
direct
directly, if they go directly to it, man.
to it,
Because
because
like Moana just came out on Netflix like a month ago.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what's crazy about Netflix is, dude, like Rogue One
Yeah, is that
came out like before
Very
it even
recent.
before it hit HBO or Showtime or anything.
right because
it was
they-
on Netflix.
because Netflix signed a deal
And,
with
the,
Disney.
and they're seeing how successful it is. Like, why wouldn't they? You know, it's gonna be awesome.
I binge watched the Matrix series on Saturday, by the way.
Hey, good man.
Yeah.
See the animation too?
No, not the anime.
All right.
I don't know if that's on Netflix. Was
That
that on
counts,
Netflix?
man.
I don't think it was.
All right, so we got our buddy Camulus saying like Harrison Ford for the win. Rumors that he dies again in Blade Runner. You know what?
He's gonna kill himself in a plane crash before he dies on the movie again.
Yeah, he is gonna die in Blade Runner
His
2049
son
without a
stabs
doubt.
him to death.
Yeah. But again, on that note, am I gonna pay for a Disney like streaming service?
I'm torn.
What's your price point? I feel like it's HBO Go and it's $15 a month, not $10. I feel like Disney's
Fuck
gonna
you up a tree, I'm
I
not
feel like
paying that.
Disney's gonna value their catalog more than $10 a month, and it's gonna be $15.
I mean, and it has to be like, how soon are they gonna put stuff out?
At that point, you're talking about parents paying a babysitter for their kids. So we are like, oh, we're gonna put on Aladdin while we go upstairs and do whatever.
Right.
Yeah, do whatever.
And I think at that point somebody's gonna shell out $15. It just won't be me.
I mean, I think some people will do it, but like I have my kids and I like Disney movies.
Yeah.
But like I buy all of them anyways, so I'm
Why
not
wouldn't you spend 15?
And they're like
Because
40
I already
bucks a
paid
pop
15 for
on
Netflix.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they're like 30
So-
bucks a pop on Blu-ray too.
Yeah.
They gouge you hard.
Exactly. So if I'm already gonna buy them on disc, why would I pay extra to watch them on?
But if you
digital?
but if you can buy them before at the same time they're released on what if they release them same time on disc, they do it streaming in HD or in 4K, and you're already paying for it and you don't have to buy it on disc.
Well, but I already own all of them, though. That's the
No.
thing. So
But
it'd be
what
newer.
I'm saying, new ones
Yeah.
moving forward, and like what Mike was just reading, you're saying like new movies like the Frozen 2 sequel and like
Let's
shit
put it
like
this way.
that.
Yeah.
So $15
Toy
a year
Story
is
Toy
like
Story 4, it comes out the same
$15 a month. So
even
that's like
even if it's not
$180 a year or something like that, right?
even if it's not even if it's not big box, even if it's not movies, like
Yeah.
even if it's not the same time, you get $15, same day, same release.
Yeah.
You get a movie the same day it comes out on disc or digital for 15. And it's cheaper than buying it.
No, I don't think I would do it because I already subscribe to Netflix. I'm not gonna pay for another service.
Well, I think Bob brings up a good point on here. He says that basically, for lack of a better term, it would destroy the economy of their entire vault.
yeah, that's why they're so
system.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of like even Camulus, like even our buddy Marty said, like even Blu-ray and 4K include a digital copy. But what if Disney stops doing that? If they're going to do their own streaming service, they're not going to do the digital copy anymore. Especially if you subscribe, it's always there.
Yeah.
But we don't know enough about their service yet, because it could be great, it could not be enough. I mean, for example, PlayStation Now, like their rental service that PlayStation has is garbage.
Yeah.
Like you pay per hour to play a game. It's like, no, I'm not going to play per hour. I just want to own the digital rights for the game, and I can play whatever. Because you can play a PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4 game on a PS4,
Yeah.
but you're renting and streaming them. Why wouldn't you just be able to download that? I want to own the digital rights to it. Like that's the thing. But as long as you have a streaming service, I think they may be going the approach of PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live, where it's like, so long as you keep it, you own these movies. They're there all the time. But so long as you stream, so long as you give us $11 to $15 a month, you can watch Frozen as much as you like.
But like, who here pays for multiple like TV streaming stuff?
Oh, I do.
Like,
I
well,
do.
So probably for like HBO
I don't
or
like
something.
it's if you pay for Netflix,
Yeah.
HBO Now, Hulu, all of those, it's still cheaper than any basic cable
Oh
package.
yeah, no, totally, yeah.
So like,
Well,
I mean,
I pay for Netflix and I pay for Amazon Prime, which then I get Stars and HBO.
for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
and then of course everyone piggybacks off of good friends like Patrick, and that's why I have Stars.
Exactly.
So I mean, like you all have friends.
But like if you had an equivalent, like of Netflix, like do you do Netflix and Hulu at the
Yeah.
same time?
Yeah.
You pay
I don't
for
do
both?
Hulu.
Yep.
I don't pay for Hulu.
Yeah.
I pay for both because I want to watch Last Man on Earth, and I get that right now. There are some live shows that I want to watch immediately, and the only thing that I don't get is like CBS Now, and they're
Do you
about to
pay
like.
$15 a piece for each of those? Or what
I mean, I think Netflix is
part of
Netflix
Disney
is like
now?
11.
Wait,
I think
doesn't
it's 15.
Disney own CBS?
Yeah. So maybe
no,
maybe
no, Disney owns ABC.
ABC.
ABC, I'm sorry.
ABC,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
and ABC is on Hulu. So who knows if they're gonna pull ABC off of like.
I'd anticipate a yank for that. If they're
Yeah.
trying
Well,
to
this-
powerhouse their own streaming service, they're going to pull their all their punches.
If they put it all up and they put it up day and date of digital release of movies that you can buy, and it's like it's a premium price of $15 a month, and I would pay $15 or $20 to get a brand new Star Wars movie straight to my house.
See, for me, it'd also be like Disney Channel, which is like all the Disney shows.
Yeah.
Not Hannah Montana, but all the newer stuff. Like my
Yeah.
son watches that stuff. What does he watch right now with the Aquanauts or whatever? And stuff like that?
Aquanauts.
Yeah, Aquanauts, Dino Trucks, all the other stuff like that.
Dino Trucks?
Dude, Dino Trucks is bad.
Dude,
Yeah.
I gotta see that.
That's
like
legit.
just
Oh, Dino
sold
Trucks
me
is on-
the
it's on
name,
Netflix, yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
legit.
Dino Trucks.
Yeah. You
So,
got to
yeah,
remember
now that I'm
too.
thinking about it, if they pull all that stuff, okay, that makes it more. But if it's just
Yeah,
like
they're gonna
big
pull it
box
off.
movies,
They're gonna
I'm
pull
like,
it off.
They're
So-
going to have to have $15 a month because they're going to lose all the licensing fees
Yeah.
that Netflix gets or everyone else gets.
Yeah.
And just because a show is on ABC Network doesn't mean that it's produced and owned by ABC.
Right.
Like it could be produced by Sony, but it's just on ABC.
Who knows? Who knows? It's all conjecture.
Who
Like,
knows?
and we're gonna leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching. We love you.
Thanks, guys,
Golf
for
clap.
inviting me to this. I had a lot
Everyone,
of fun.
round of applause for Handsome Patrick.
I
Let
had
us
a
know.
lot of
Let
fun,
us
guys.
know in the
Thank you so
comments. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you guys let us know in the comments. You want to see Handsome Patrick back?
Bob,
He's
thanks,
logo.
for,
We'll bring him.
thanks for interacting with us.
But thank you guys, everyone, for interacting. Camulus, we love you, bud. Tiff, of course, we love you. Thank you so much for everyone. Garrick, we saw you in the chat. Thank you so much, guys, for like hanging out. And we will see you guys next week. Make sure you share the channel, follow on Twitch. We love you guys. Mwah. Make sure you follow us. We're gonna put all the contents, all the following, and you guys keep located. And remember, don't be a dumbass. Be wise, man.
Wise, man. Oh, drop the mic. Ooh.
White women and I still got lit. The sex was on fire, shit, we still look sick. Them hoes won't want you living how they still your friends. Explode from the pressure. Yeah, watch the bombs go off. Watch the bombs go off.